Hello everyone and welcome to this week's behind the scenes devlog video, and Happy New Year! I hope you all had a wonderful time over the holiday period. I just got back from visiting my family in England a couple of days ago in the evening, so yesterday was my first full day back, and I mainly just had a load of stuff to sort out, but I also did some planning on how development's going to go over the next few months, and I created myself a new timetable so that I can be extra productive. And I also sorted out my to-do list on Trello, but today I'm actually going to get started with working on Equilinox again. Also, some very good news this week, because my Patreon page has been doing a bit better than usual recently. I was able to save up and buy a better camera for these devlog videos, and that arrived yesterday. So firstly, thank you to everyone who's been supporting me on Patreon for making that possible, and hopefully you'll notice a slight increase in the quality of the footage in this video. But yeah, I'm going to get started with work now, and I will show you what I'm doing later in the day. So one thing that I definitely need to do in Equilinox before its release is to restructure a lot of the engine code, because I ended up adding quite a lot more features than I had originally planned when I first designed the engine, and so it started to get a little bit messy and unoptimized in some areas. So I want to have another go at it to make sure that it can run the game as smoothly as possible. So I'm going to be doing this in a separate project so that I can develop the engine at the same time as still working on the gameplay in Equilinox, and then once the engine is finished I can just swap it out for the old one. And mainly it's just going to be restructuring, so a lot of the code is going to stay the same, but I also thought that I could use this opportunity to add a few more graphical effects into Equilinox to try and make it look really as good as it possibly can. And so this morning I've just been having a look at other people's low poly art and seeing what kind of effects and lighting they've used in their low poly scenes to make the low poly style look good. And I've just been trying out a few of these effects in Blender to see how they would look in Equilinox. So for example, there's obviously the foggy mist effect, which I think could definitely look good in some areas. Also, ambient occlusion is definitely something that I'd like to have in the new engine. And I also noticed that a lot of people, when creating a low poly style, they texture their low poly models to make it look like they're made from paper. And I had to go at that here, but I'm not too sure if that really suits the style that I'm aiming for. But maybe I just used a bad texture, so I'll probably have a go at that when I've got the new engine up and running, just to see how it looks in Equilinox, but I'm not sure if that will actually make it into the game. So yeah, this morning I've just been designing this new engine, and in a minute I'm going to get started with programming some of it. Just started work on programming for the new engine, and I've just been doing the very basics of setting up the display and stuff like that, although this time I've been trying to make the display code a little bit more flexible so that the display itself can actually be more flexible and you can resize it and set it full screen and stuff like that. But now I'm just going to get back to work on Equilinox, and I've got a few things to tidy up before I release it to the Patreon supporters this month. For the rest of the morning I've just been creating some icons for the entities that didn't have them, and I've also just been updating a few entity descriptions, but now I'm just going to stop for a bit of lunch. Next up today, I've created a new upgrade for the sheep, which is this efficiency upgrade, and this allows the sheep to lose hunger a little bit slower. So you can see that if I upgrade this, the sheep now lose hunger 20% slower than usual, and this means that they need less food to survive, and therefore they can survive in areas where the grass doesn't grow so well. For example, in high altitudes, you can see that the grass doesn't grow as well up here, but the sheep would still be able to survive here with their more efficient eating. And now I need to fix a bug with red leaves appearing when the birch tree dies. It is 10 to 7 in the evening now, and for the rest of the afternoon I was firstly just working on fixing that bug, which as you can see is now fixed. And I've also been doing a bit more work on the animation code and the animation tutorial. The animation code is now fully working. I got that working over Christmas. I think in the last video it wasn't quite working, but as you can see now it is working fully. And I've also just been preparing the script, preparing some of the explanations for the first of the animation tutorial videos. Good morning everyone, it is 7 o'clock on Friday morning and today I'm going to be doing some more work on the new engine, and I'd also like to create a few new models for Equilinox. But before I start all that, I want to start off the day by going for a run in the park, which is something that I got a bit lazy with at the end of last year. It started to get a bit cold and I didn't go very often. So this year I'm going to try and put a real effort in and go at least once every day. So I'm going to do that now, and then when I get back I'll get to work on the new engine. So far this morning I've just been programming for the new engine and it's coming along quite nicely, but I can't really show you anything yet because there's nothing rendering. But I've been making sure that the code's all nice and tidy and much better laid out than my current engine. Also, I've been adding a few more comments to the animation tutorial code, and again, if you missed it in the last devlog video, you can actually download this code for the animation tutorial already from the link in the description of this video. And now I am currently looking for some inspiration for some new low poly trees for Equilinox, because I want to try and make some in a minute. It is 1 o'clock now and I've just finished creating these two new trees for Equilinox, and I'll be putting them into the game after lunch. 4:30 in the afternoon now, and I've just been creating the younger versions for these new trees, and next I'm going to make the icons for them and then I can put them into the game. So I've just finished adding the two new trees into the game, as you can see here, and I've also made the icons for them as well. And I'm pretty happy with the palm tree. This is actually going to be a source of coconuts. You can see some of them growing on the larger trees here, and some animals will be able to eat them in some situations. I'm not too sure about the pink tree though. It might be a little bit too low poly in comparison to some of the other trees, so I may modify that at some point. But for now I'm going to stop for a bit, have some dinner, take a bit of a break, and then get back to work with something else this evening. Just finishing off the day today with a bit of editing for this week's devlog video, and I've also just been answering a few comments and emails, but it's getting a bit late now, so I'm going to get to bed. So that is pretty much going to be it for this week. It was a bit of a short one this time, but next week I've got a completely full free week, so I should have lots more progress to show you in the next video. Before I finish this week, I need to give a shout out to the top Patreon supporters from last month, who were NASA, Blue Nova, Danny D, Crazy Rusky, Jerry Bradshaw, Benjamin Fuller and Alexander Chavez. So a huge thank you to you guys, and of course a big thank you to everyone who's been supporting me on Patreon. But yeah, thank you guys very much for watching this video. Do subscribe if you haven't already. Have a fantastic week, and I will see you all next time.